What is the height of this tree? We'll call this H. This person is 2 meters tall, and we'll call this triangle, this portion here is a right angle, we'll call this part X. X is this high. So the height of the tree is X plus 2 meters tall. This person is looking at the tree and is also looking at the top of the tree. So let's focus on this triangle. The triangle portion looks like this, and we're trying to solve for X, and we have 30 degrees, and we'll slide this 10 up here. So we have a base being 10. Let's use SOHCAHTOA. We have the angle 30, and we're interested in opposite and adjacent. SOHCAHTOA, opposite, adjacent. We'll use tan. Tan 30 degrees equals opposite over adjacent. Multiplying both sides by 10, we have x equals 10 tan 30. And this year we know what tan 30 is. It's special. We have the triangle 1, 2, root 3, and we have 30 degrees and 60 degrees. Tan 30 is opposite over adjacent, which is 1 over root 3. So we have 1 over root 3 is tan 30. So this is the value of x. 10 over root 3. We substitute into here, so h equals 10 over root 3 plus 2, and this here is an exact answer. And by the way, if we want to rationalize, we can multiply top and bottom by root 3, and so we get 10 root 3 over 3 as our x value. And so h would be 10 root 3 over 3 plus 2. What is sine 120? This here is your classic trig question. Trig, sine, cos, tan of some known angle. And how do you approach these problems? You draw a nice set of lines, Haya. And it's good to write this little acronym, ASTC. All students take calculus, going in a nice counterclockwise direction. Same as theta in standard position rotates counterclockwise. So sine 120. We draw the angle 120 around here. This is 90 plus 30 more is 120. This here is the terminal arm. Next we draw the reference angle. If 90 plus 30 is this far, what angle belongs here? So this is 120, 30 plus what becomes 90? We have reference angle of 60 degrees. So this R represents the reference angle. It's always an acute angle between 0 and 90, between the x-axis and the terminal arm. So now that we went Haya, ASTC, draw the arm reference angle, let's determine the actual sign, the result of this expression. It's either positive or negative. S represents sine, and when this arm is in this quadrant, the sine quadrant, the letters are the same. It means we have a home court advantage. If you're playing sports in the same city, sometimes the call goes your way. So we'll call this positive. SS, positive advantage. Now, finally, we have to figure out the value. What is the number here? And how do you figure out the value? All we do is we take the sine of the reference angle. And what is sine 60? We learned this before. Sine 60 is root 3 over 2. Recall that 1, 2, root 3. We have sine 60 is opposite over hypotenuse, or perhaps you memorize this directly from a table. So the answer is positive root 3 over 2. That's it. So let's try these kind of problems again and again until we get the hang of it. What is cosine 330? This is your classic trig of known angle. Haya, ASTC. Cosine 330 is almost all the way around. It's around here. And the reference angle is 30 degrees. Step 1, figure out the sign. C and C are the same, so it's positive. Next, figure out the value, and the value happens to be cosine of 30 degrees, which we learn is root 3 over 2. Cosine 30 is adjacent over hypotenuse. So we say the answer is positive root 3 over 2. C is in C land, so it's positive. When you're in a different land, it's going to be negative unless you're in this quadrant 1. A represents everything as always positive. Let's try sine 225. Haya, ASTC, 225 is around here, and the reference angle is 45 degrees. 180 plus 45 is 225. Now sine is in tan land. Sacramento is flying over to Toronto. And so we have different cities, so it's a negative, not a positive value. And what is sine of the reference angle 45? Recall that sine 45 is root 2 over 2, or 1 over root 2. We have 1 root 2. And sine 45 is adjacent over hypotenuse. 1 over root 2 is equivalent to root 2 over 2. So the value is root 2 over 2, and we have a negative value as our answer. Now, what is negative sine 225? Sine 225 is just some value, and all we're doing is we're sticking a negative sign in front of it. So let's leave this negative sign alone and just focus, like we did in the past, on sine 225. So Haya, ASTC, 225 is here again, and the reference angle is 45. Now sine is in T land, so it's going to be negative. It's going to be negative something. And we take the sine of the reference angle, and sine 45 is root 2 over 2. Two negatives make a positive, so the answer is root 2 over 2. Again, we have trig of a special angle, but this angle is negative. So let's think about it. Again, we do Haya, ASTC. Now where is negative 420? Negative 360 goes clockwise this far. But we still have to go 60 more degrees to achieve negative 420. So 60 more in the negative direction would be about this far. This here is a terminal arm. We'll call this reference angle 60 degrees. It's always positive because it's the angle between the arm and the x-axis. And tan is in C land, cosine land. So it's going to be negative. And what is the value? We take tan of 60 degrees, which is good to memorize, is root 3. So this here is our answer. When we have 1, 2, root 3, tan 60 is opposite over adjacent, which is root 3.